be on why limiting beliefs come up when we are ascending, when we are growing, when our vibration is rising. That was what she wanted to cover today. And I really love this conversation. I don't know if there's anything that I talk about that I don't like. But I really love this conversation because I know personally that when I've gone through like a spiral of despair, like similar to Maggie, I thought that that was me lowering my vibration. I thought that meant that I was going down a negative trajectory. I thought that meant that it was the end of my world, the end of my dreams, the end of my, lifestyle or what I wanted to come true. When in reality, like there's this quote that says, sometimes when you're spiraling, it's not because you're spiraling down, it's because you're spiraling so fast into ascension. And so, Maggie, you can look back and be like, yeah, it felt like I was spiraling out of control, and it felt like all of these negative emotions and all of these negative beliefs were coming up, but it was because you were raising your vibration. So all of that stuff that was not vibrationally aligned with the new vibration that you're in right now had to release, had to disperse, had to exit your energy field, your consciousness, so that you could fully embody and receive this new reality that you're living in, right? So even though it felt like you were spiraling down, you were actually spiraling upward, but it's still a spiral. So you're like, what the hell's going on, right?
Right,
So
and to feel it, you have to feel it all.
You do
go
have,
through it. You have to
yeah,
go through it and feel it all. In order to go, you have to feel it all and experience the black shadow in order to receive the golden shadow.
Exactly. And so I want you guys to just kind of close your eyes and set an intention for a minute. What is it what answer are you looking for? How will you know that you've gotten it? And be open to different ideas. So I know I suffer badly from tunnel vision when it comes to my dreams and goals. I suffer from tunnel vision. It's like it has to be this way, and the answers have to come to me this way, and the money has to come to me this way, and the clients have to come to me this way. Right? But what is it for you? What is like the only way that you can allow information to come in, money to come in, clients to come in, opportunities to come in? What is, I want you to just identify that tunnel vision for a second so you can see when you're in it. And now that you've identified it, I want you to just start breaking away the bricks that create the tunnel, or the structure that creates the tunnel, and be open to the guidance that comes through. Sam, I don't know if you listen to Bashar, but I think Bashar would be radically life-changing for you, especially on the part of the path that you're on now. I can send you a few specific videos because he has a lot of stuff. I think he'd be particularly helpful for you right now. But just allow yourself to be open and fluid. And what is the next right step? And not what you think the next right step is, but what is the higher self, the higher mind, God, creator? What does that essence want to show you? And then we'll move forward. I just wanted to set an intention. So I want to start off with this quote. The storm wasn't sent to destroy you. The storm was sent to clear your path. Okay? So it goes back to the spiraling and feeling out of control and feeling like things are out of control. And I know when you're in the thick of the storm, it really feels like there's no way out. You don't know if you're walking, you're going to bump into a tree, or if you're going to trip over a rock. You don't know if you're on stable ground. You can't see the next 2 feet in front of you. Like, you're like envying the people that have 300 feet of vision, of sight before them, but you only got like 2 feet. You have no idea which way you're going to go, which direction. Is it north, south, east, or west? And you'll find, and going through this, we'll go into that, but you'll find that by the end of the storm, you will see that it was trying to clear a path for you. And it's up to you to do that inner work to help facilitate in the removal of the obstacles in the path, or the clearing of the path. The storm was not sent to destroy you. The storm was sent to clear your path. So as your vibration is rising, so everything exists within a bracket of vibration, right? We know the vibration of happiness, we know the vibration of depression, we know the bracket of vibration of joy, the bracket of vibration of anxiousness. And within these brackets, we could even do like a consciousness of fitness, and a consciousness of laziness, right? There are, in whichever vibration, there's an accumulation of similar thoughts, feelings, emotions, vibrations, patterns, behaviors, and habits. Within that vibration, again, it's like a frequency you tune into, and within that radio station, there's similar songs, there's similar artists, there's similar DJs, there's similar, right? So within that bracket of vibration, there's similar thoughts, feelings, emotions, vibrations, and frequencies, and habits, and all that stuff. So as you ascend into a different vibration, all of this cannot go with you. And the higher the frequency, the more pure your soul is being called to be. And it's not even your soul, because your soul is pure, but the higher you vibrate, the more purity is asked of you. And that means that you are shedding all of the impurities, all of the negativity, or all of the self-sabotage, or all of the resentment, or all of the frustration, right? Because the higher you ascend, the more pure that you get. So I want you to look at this similar to the way that an airplane, when it ascends into the atmosphere, we experience turbulence, right? So I don't know if you guys have ever been on an airplane before, but as it starts to ascend, you get little bumpy waves. It's like it starts to rock and it jumps up and down. And that's because the plane is ascending. But when the plane reaches its 3,000, foot atmosphere, whatever it needs to be at to maintain flight, there's no turbulence. It's smooth sailing. And I know that we all love to be in that place of no turbulence. Like, it fucking feels good up there. We like it. We dig it. We want to be in it. And so then after we reach a certain point in height and we get that smooth sailing feeling and things feel smooth, and then they begin to get rocky again, we think it's because we're descending. The plane is descending, which also causes turbulence. But in reality, what the plane is doing is going to another level of elevation. Right? It's ascending up. There's turbulence, and there's higher elevation. So when you're feeling like things are rocky, when you feel like things are like all of your fears are coming up, all of your resentment is coming up, or when all of your scarcity is coming up, when all of your doubt is coming up, remember that it just means, well, see, here's the thing. We're the creators of our reality, right? Bashar says what you put out is what you get back, right? So if you're putting out there that you've reached a certain level, the flight feels good, and then you start to feel turbulence, how you define that experience is exactly what you're going to get. So if you feel like you're descending and you're worried that you're descending, guess what you're going to create? You're like, oh, I'm going backwards. I don't feel as balanced as I did yesterday. I don't feel as balanced as I did a week ago. I don't have as many clients coming through as I did a week ago, or whatever have you. Right? We're like, oh shit, I'm descending, I'm retracting, I'm contracting. So then what is the universe going to say? Yes, you are. And then you're going to get evidence. And also because of your reticular activating system, it's going to filter out that truth from real reality. And you're going to spiral. But either way, even the path of avoidance leads you to your destination. So eventually you will get there, right? Now, if you start to feel that turbulence, and you say to yourself, this is because I am ascending. This is because greater things are coming my way. This is because I need to release all of these fears, doubts, anxiousness, anger, resentment, so that I can get to my next level. Guess what you're going to experience? Universe says yes, because it only knows one word. It only knows one word. Yes. So it's like, okay, I know that I'm facing these obstacles because I know that I'm leveling up. And remember, there's that quote that I love, and it says, things get most challenging just before you level up. So don't give up. So I want you guys to really be intentional about what meanings and definitions you're giving to what you're going through. What are you saying to yourself and about this situation? Because words are prophecy. Everything you say is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, there is a time where we have to go in and we have to feel it, because we don't want to be ignorant to it either. This is where the skill of discernment comes in, being able to discern, is this an emotion that needs to come up and be felt and be seen and be heard? Or is it that I just went unconscious and I need to go back to that high vibrational state of being, or what I prefer? In my perception, so this is kind of a tricky one. So in my perception, when I attempt to, so if it's like all encompassing, like you literally just don't feel motivated, you literally just don't feel good, you literally, like, you woke up that day, or you can tell that something's off. It's like more of a full embodied experience when things are like don't feel right, or when you feel like that's when the emotion needs to come up and be heard, seen, felt, nurtured, loved, like when it's a more full embodied experience. But like if you're going throughout your day and all of a sudden a negative thought, or all of a sudden this unconscious anxious emotion comes up within you, it's probably not that it needs to be felt or heard, it just needs to be redirected. And so part of the path moving forward will be discerning, being evaluative, if that's a word, to see, is this something that needs loving, nurturing, and holding, or is this just something the neurosynaptic connections are just firing again and I need to just redirect it? And so I wrote this quote for my TV show a few weeks ago, and it said something to the effect of, being positive doesn't mean that you deny the suck. Being positive means that you find the beauty in the suck, right? So it's like, and why these definitions and meanings are so important. So you could say, like for you, Sam, right now, you could say that it sucks that my parents won't give me my machine. But what meaning are you giving it? So are you saying that this is another block, or are you saying that these things about them? Are you saying these things about yourself? Are you saying that this, and these are just all hypothetical, right? Like, I don't know, unless I tried, but I'm not trying. but like, does this mean it's not meant for me? Does this mean that I'm not going to make money? How long is it going to be so that I don't make money? Is this them trying to sabotage me? Is this the universe trying to sabotage me? Is this me blocking me? Is this my own self-sabotage, right? Those are all definitions and thoughts that you could be going through. And of course, the universe is going to say yes. So what to do instead is a really great power of reframing. So reframing is like when somebody walks past you, or somebody who's you've had a relationship with, friend, family, whatever, is like, they're like, I hate you, right? And you reframe it and you're like, don't hate me because you ain't me, right? You took their words and you reframed it to empower yourself. Usually that comes out of self-deflection, or not self-deflection, self-protection. But like, that's the best example that I got at that time. So reframing what you're going through, it's like connecting to your success story. So it's like you're projecting, Sam, that there was at one point where, you know, my parents were holding my machine captive and they weren't talking to me, but I found a way. Let's see, what would be the success story? But somehow a miracle broke through. They reached out to me and I was able to get my machine back, and I started Groupon that same day. And all of a sudden I was booked with 5 different sessions that next week, right? It's like tapping into the success story and what you want, and also reframing the circumstance. So it's like, okay, yeah, it sucks that you don't have your machine, but also, what is this showing me about myself? What is creator, or God, I don't know who you refer to, but what is creator trying to show me that I'm not seeing? Because everything is a vibration, is a frequency. People, their choices, circumstances, all of it. So there's something about the vibration of your machine a little bit being held captive. Okay, if I'm being frank, a little bit being held captive. I mean, and I don't know, right? Like, maybe they have other health stuff going on, they just haven't been able to get to you. But there's a reason why your machine is not present with you right now. And it's up to you to figure out why, right? That's the opportunity for you to dig deep and find out why. Is it because you're actually scared of success? Are you scared of being successful? Are you scared of being seen as the healer of the family? Are you scared that you're going to be rejected if you're successful as a healer? Are you scared that you're going to lose your friends if you become a successful healer? Are you afraid of what it actually means to be in that much abundance and wealth because it's unfamiliar? Right? So like, there's so many different facets, and really the greater the questions that you ask, the more substance and the more the better the questions, the better the answers you're going to get about yourself. And so I promise you that once you shift that, whatever it is, because what's going on with your family and the machine is a reflection. It's a reflection. So you have to ask yourself, why is this being generated? Is it that I'm doing it? Or is it that creator wants me to learn something? What is it that I need to shift? And the better the questions you ask, the better you will get the root. And you could just say, affirm out there, what is the root? What is the root? Show me, show me, show me. Show me the root. So let's see here. But what I really want you guys to take away from this is pay attention to your meanings and your stories of what, and your definitions of what you're going through. I know for a long time I had, this is a reason why it will never work out for me. This is another reason why I'm being delusional. This is another reason why I'm not that special and I'm not that great. Right? And then what does the universe say? Yes. Right? So instead I could have said, and I do say, this is exactly why I'm special. because not everybody can go through this. Not everybody can perceive it this way, right? This is exactly why I am the best, because I'm going through this, right? I'm going to be, already am, that top 1% who refuses to give up. And if I keep going, that's what the success story, you're hearing the success story I tell myself all the fucking time. If I keep going, I'm giving it no choice but to show up at my doorstep. And it will come. Literally, this came to me a long time ago, and I hold on to this dearly. Literally, obstacles are a sign that it is happening. Obstacles are a direct correlation, direct validation that what you want is on its way and it's coming to you. Because first of all, you wouldn't be experiencing this if you weren't on the path. If you wanted to go get a 9-to-5 job, you wouldn't have to worry about the machine, right? But the fact that you're concerned about it, that you want it back, and that you're doing what you can to get it back shows you that you are walking the path. And you have no idea what this circumstance or experience is going to gift you. What lessons are going to be learned here afterwards? Because the whole thing, guys, is that it's not even about, we know this, it's not about the destination, but even still, it's not about the journey. It's about who you become amidst walking the path on the journey while getting to the destination. So the real value is not the clients that you get, the business that you create, the people that you sing to. You will find that when you're there, it is going to be solely about who you became on that path, right? So when you look at it through that lens, that these obstacles are here because what I want is happening, and that I'm getting these circumstances because I am being handcrafted to be the best organic, natural singer that writes beautiful, heart-spoken music that touches people's lives. And I'm going through this obstacle because Creator is handcrafting me to be one of the best and most successful cancer healing practitioners or healers. Then it's like, okay, like, bring it on, but let's be a little bit gentle too, okay? Like, bring it on, but let's also be a little bit gentle. See, that feels better in your soul, doesn't it? That sits a lot better with what you're facing and what you're going through. That's like, and it's so simple, guys. I really don't want you to miss it, because it's so easy for us to like just, and especially because, I don't want to say a lot of the collective anymore thinks that way, but at one point, a lot of the collective did think that way. And we are connected to the collective, right? So if the collective has gotten their dreams beaten out of them, and your dreams aren't beaten out of you yet, what are they going to try and do? Beat the dreams out of you. So that means you have to be your own beacon. You have to be your own warrior. You have to be your own superhero. You have to be your own superhero. So please, it's going to take practice. It's going to take time. But pay attention to, like, when you find yourself telling yourself a story, something happens, you start going down your own rabbit hole. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself about yourself and about your situation, because words are prophecy. They become self-fulfilling. Now, one tool I will give you, this helped me a lot, is when I would catch myself doing this, I would ask myself 3 questions, okay? The first one is, what am I making this mean? The reason why it's important to ask this first question is because you first must identify the story, the unconscious, pre-programmed, preconditioned story you are already telling yourself about your situation. Because once you can identify it, it no longer has power over you. It no longer is controlling you. And then you can catch yourself doing it again more effortlessly, right? The second question I ask myself is, what could this mean instead? And I know sometimes I'd be like, it actually means this. Hello, Haley. You ask yourself, what could this mean instead? Until you find the higher vibrational, more divinely aligned reason. This is your opportunity to locate what is the higher vibrational meaning for what I'm going through. This is where you have the opportunity to tap into that higher level of consciousness and sight. Okay? And the last thing I would ask myself is, how is this getting me closer to my goal? How is this getting me closer to what I want? Because we don't want to continue something if it's meaningless, right? Like we choose not to do things because they don't serve a purpose. They don't benefit us, right? And that's why most of the collective has given up on their dreams or who they could have been, because they went for it, and then eventually got beaten out of them, which is actually initiation. It's like, do you really mean what you say? Do you really want this? Okay, I hear you. But really, really? Really, really? So when you ask, how is this getting me closer to my goal? Not only are you giving yourself the opportunity to perceive the way out and perceive the path forward, but you also open yourself up to how to get yourself out of that situation or what needs to be shifted and healed. And then lastly, you're giving it meaning. You're giving it purpose, right? Because if you're like, I'm going through all this shit for nothing, that sucks. But when you give it a meaning of how is this getting me closer to my goal, then it makes it meaningful. Then it makes it purposeful. Then you put on your superhero cape and you're like, I can do this. I do got this. It's just a matter of solving the problem. And that also goes into, you can't think beyond what you feel. You can't think beyond what you feel. Do not trust your mind when you're in a state of a wobble, when you're in a state of insecurity or doubt or fear or scarcity or whatever. Don't trust your mind when you're in that state. You don't have to listen to it. How often are you listening to yourself rather than talking to yourself? That's a really important question to ask. Am I listening to myself right now, or am I talking to myself? Because it'll run rampant if you let it. When trying to find the words to say this, it's not wrong for us to fall from grace because we are in a dense reality. So we can't be upset with ourselves when we fall from grace, because that does nothing. Doesn't serve you, doesn't help you, doesn't motivate you to go back. It doesn't put you in a high vibration. You can't go to a high vibration through a negative one. You can't be like, why'd you let your vibration drop? See, this is why you won't ever be able to do this. This is why, blah, blah. You can't accelerate yourself into a high vibration that way. It's that love, it's that compassion, right? Having understanding with yourself. Last thing I want to say, and then maybe give you guys some questions to chew on. Okay? So it lasts as long as you let it. It lasts as long as you let it. And there's two ways that you would let it continue to happen. So the first one is that you ignore it, deny it, hate it, resent it. You resent it that it's there. It doesn't belong here. I shouldn't be going through this. I shouldn't have this issue. I shouldn't be dealing with this. When you're doing that, guess what you're doing? You're keeping it alive. You're not learning the lesson. Maggie, you know how many times I've done that? Anytime. I shouldn't have to deal with this. Why is it? I feel like I have it harder than everybody else. This is completely unfair. When you're denying it, devaluing it, you're letting it stick around because you're not taking the value that's so valuable, you guys. There's gold in there. Whether it's an idea, whether it's a connection or a networking, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's the idea for financial abundance, whether it's a beautiful new place to live, right? It belongs there. Because if it didn't belong there, it wouldn't be there. It's your job through high level meanings and definitions of what you're going through in your reality. It'll be there. You'll find it. You'll find that gold. The second reason why it lasts as long as it lasts, if you let it, is that you perpetuate it. So you are in self-loathing about it. You're pitying yourself about it. You are believing the thoughts in your head that say it's not going to work out for you, or you're crazy, or maybe everybody else is right. That's how you perpetuate it. That's how you keep it alive. Now, we don't listen to that. Because is that the way Creator, like honestly, I'm talking about the true unconditionally loving source that we're all connected to. Is that how source sees you? No. It's time to start seeing yourself the way that source sees you. It is. It's time. So don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not there. Don't say, I can smile my way through this. I can affirm myself out of this. I can meditate myself out of this. That's a good one, right? Accept it that it's there and find the gold, find the gift. Put on your superhero cape or your goddess cape or whatever the fuck god and goddesses wear. Put it on and be the badass that you were designed to be. Because you wouldn't be going through this if you weren't walking the path, if you weren't going to get what you want, and if you weren't the perfect person to do this. Right? It's like a filtering. Because if you're going to be a singer that creates heartfelt soul music, and if you're going to be a healer, do you think Creator wants the half-assed one? Do you think if you're going to be a leader or if you're going to be a healer, do you think Creator wants one that's subpar? Do you think for humanity, Creator wants the best of the best? And so each time you're going through an obstacle, each time you're going through a challenge, it's because Creator believes in you and you can be the best if you allow yourself to be. It's filtering out who's not serious about their healing work, who's not serious about creating music for the humanity, who's not serious. Right? So are you serious? Let me see if there's anything else before I ask you guys some questions. Okay. So let me ask you guys a few questions. You're welcome to keep your eyes open, close your eyes, doesn't matter. I always channel better with my eyes closed. So I'm going to do that. So this impossible situation that you're facing, the thing that feels like it's never going to change, The thing that you're most afraid of staying alive. I want you to tune into that for a second. Actually, I'm hearing something else. So now that we're there emotionally, I want you to go back to a time where you were facing another circumstance that you never thought would end, that you never thought would be completed, that you'd never dig yourself out of, that was always going to self-perpetuate. You never saw the end in sight. Go back to that point in your timeline. And then I want you to briefly review how you were led to solve that problem, or how you were led to resolution, completion, answers, solutions. Now, not in a way where we're going to compare that timeline to this timeline, but just reflecting on who you became once it was resolved. So the person at point A that started facing this problem, the timeline, and at point B, the person that arrived at point B. How valuable was that person in the end? And the things that were learned, and the wisdom that was gained. That's where you're at right now. You're at a point. I'm not going to say point A, because you're probably further along than you believe. Because it's not that you have a manifestation problem. It's not that you have a manifestation problem. It's that you have a depth perception problem. This comes from Ed Milet. You believe, you perceive that your dreams, your financial goals, your singing goals, all of your goals are further out than they actually are. So you behave and make decisions in accordance with that belief. But what if I told you that it's closer than you think? Because remember, divine timing is not about a date. Divine timing is about a frequency, a state of being that you align to. So this circumstance that you're facing, what is it showing you about yourself? What are you most afraid of if it works out? You know, I've worked with clients where they've wanted really big homes, and then when I've done belief work with them, we found out that the reason why they were sabotaging themselves from having a big home is because they didn't want their family members moving in, because, oh, now they've got the big house, right? So now you can house all of us, right? Obviously, we cleared that. But think about it. What are you most afraid of if it comes true? Or maybe that's not the case. What are you afraid you're going to lose along the way? Have you been doing too much comparing? Comparing maybe not yourself to others, or maybe, but have you been comparing the version that you are now to the version of who you think you should be or going to be? If you're like, oh, if I only made this much money by now, if I only had these many clients by now. See, and this came from Bashar, this is not mine. When you deny or unjustify, devalue the version of you right now that will get you to that future place, you're erasing one of your own milestones. Because going back to that old version of you that is at point A who found their way to point B, if you erase that person at point A, you would have never arrived at point B. Each version of you in your timeline serves a great purpose. So if you want to move past the circumstance you are now, the circumstance you're in now, you have to love the version that you are today, because that version of you today is going to get you to that end goal. Don't erase your milestones. Use them as stepping stones. So moving forward, this impossible situation you're facing, what are you making it mean? What are you making it mean? Now, what can it mean instead? What could it mean instead? And how is it getting you closer to your goal? What is it showing you about yourself, about your capabilities? What is the lesson, the deep, wise lesson it's teaching you? What is the root? What is the root? What is the root? And knowing that anytime a negative belief comes forward, when you're experiencing turbulence, it's up for you to decide whether you're ascending and it's a sign that you're getting what you want, that it's happening, or the former, which we won't speak about, because I'm not going to program that with you with your eyes closed. What is the new meaning you can give when you're going through turbulence? When the road is bumpy? What is the new meaning definition? And anchor that in somehow. Don't forget this. Remember this. And know that all the limiting beliefs that come up are just a sign that you're ascending, because they cannot go with you where you're going. It's a sign it's happening. All these negative beliefs, these negative emotions, it's a sign you're winning. It's a sign it's happening, because you're ascending. They can't go with you. You're evolving. And I'm going to leave it there. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we take off?